Hey, I'm Travis from StudentLoanPlanner.com. I wanted to show you why federal student loan interest rates are about to be the lowest they've been in at least 10 years for the upcoming fall 2020 semester and spring 2021 semester. So this is big news, and it's great news for people that are in school about to borrow for their courses of study coming up. And the reason is because the yield that you have to pay, the interest that you have to pay on federal student loans is set according to what the government borrows at a specific point in time in May. So every year, the government has to borrow for its own needs in May, and they basically get an interest rate that, investors help set. And so what the government does is they say, okay, let's say that we borrowed at 3%. We're going to take that 3% interest rate and then add extra interest on top of that to give people student loan interest rates for the upcoming year. That's kind of how it works. And so in this most recent time that they set this up, the Stafford Subsidized interest rate was about 4.53%, Stafford Unsubsidized 6.08, Grad Plus and Parent Plus 7.08. How did they determine this? So there's a formula for setting this. So they take that, whatever that government rate is that they borrow at when they sell bonds in May, let's just say it's 3%. So they would take that rate and they would, basically give you a margin of all of these different rates, and they would determine what the rate would be based off of that specific margin. So the margin, if you will, is 2.05% for Stafford Subsidized. This is loans that undergraduates take out for their study. It's pretty limited in what you're allowed to borrow. So I'm just going to make that the margin. So the margin for Stafford Unsubsidized is 3.60%, and then the margin for Grad Plus and Parent Plus loans is 4.6%. So if the interest that the government borrowed at was 3%, then the formula for the interest would have been, for unsubsidized loans, 3 plus 3.6 and then 4.6 plus 3, so then those would be the interest rates, right? But the 10-year Treasury yield is way below 3% right now. So what you can try to figure out is, what is the interest going to be for when the government borrows in May 2020? Right now, that interest is around 0.65%. What counts is what is the government borrowing at on a specific day in May when they sell bonds. And, barring anything shocking, this is going to show a very, very low interest rate that they're going to borrow at, which means that if things kind of hold, if trends hold, then that means undergrads are going to get to borrow for the 2020 to 2021 college school year at 2.70% for their undergrad subsidized loans. For their unsubsidized loans for both undergrad and grad school, this is going to be undergrad, for people that need higher limits. You can borrow with unsubsidized once you've used up all your subsidized. And then this is also some grad school here. So if you can borrow at 4%, that's kind of like mortgage level borrowing, and you're not, a person that has necessarily a high income with lots of money down for a house. When you're going to school, you're a student without a credit history. So this is really extraordinary that they're giving such low interest rates for the coming year. Should it be lower? Maybe. That's a political discussion to have. But at least we can say that these interest rates are the lowest they've ever been in a long time coming up for this new school year. Now, this is for Grad Plus and Parent Plus. So this is like the unlimited borrowing for graduate school. So for grad students, you can take out an unlimited amount of money for your graduate degree program, which would be taken out under the Grad Plus program. For parents that need to help fund their children's education, you'll be able to borrow under this program as well. And so let's just look at these differences. So, these are the interest rates for the current school year that's basically wrapping up in June. And these are the interest rates that are going to get charged, approximately to students in the fall. So this is almost a 2% lower difference, which is really a huge difference. So, obviously there's a lot of unfortunate things economically happening right now, but borrowers of federal student loans are about to get a really nice windfall of savings coming for them this fall of 2020.